marshals lead us in the invocation. We followed by the pledge of allegiance. You may step forward, sir.
Father, we thank you and we praise you for everything, Father God. We ask you to continue to watch over us as we make decisions for the town, Father God. We ask you to be with us, let us always look for you for guidance, Father God. And we're going to give you all the honor and the glory that can be, Father God. We ask you to bless each and every board member today, Father God, like never before, Father God. And we ask you to just continue to bless our town and all our official officers. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You're welcome. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval? Yes. Ms. Wood.
We need to delete item 8A. They will not be able to make it tonight.
8A. Thank you.
And item 11, you had requested earlier that we delete that one.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Any other additional inclusion? Is there a motion? Mayor Pro Tem O'Gara.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda with the two deletions, 8A and whichever one that was used on.
11.
11.
Alderwoman Jackson.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we delete item 8A and item 11 from the agenda. You've heard the motion of the floor for the question. All in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, sign of nay. Okay, now we need a motion for the approval of our consent items. Alderwoman Cooper.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent items of minutes of the June 25th, 2018 regular meeting, minutes of the July 12th, 2018 special meeting, minutes of the July 13th, 2018 special meeting, and correction to Appendix B, authorized employee positions.
Mayor Pro Tem O'Gara.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the consent items, the minutes of the June 25th meeting, the minutes of the July 12th special meeting, the minutes of the July 13th special meeting, and the correction to Appendix B. All in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, sign of nay. Are there any one sign up to speak with the public forum? Okay. Seeing none. We now are to item 8B already. Sergeant McCormick of the SLPD. Talk about Special Olympics.
Mr. Mayor, Aldermen, and citizens of Spring Lake, we'll make this real brief. I'm up here representing Special Olympics of North Carolina. As you know, that is benefit people that have physical or mental disabilities. We ask for certain people to come out and support us when we hold our events, the law enforcement torch run, and the Spring Lake Helping Hands car show. I'm gonna call a few names of some people that we would like to recognize for supporting us during our events. And when I call your name, if you would please, just come out to the front and face the audience. And I'm gonna start off with Mayor Larry G. Dawkins, Alderman James O.G. O'Gara, Alderwoman Jackie Jackson, and Bishop Alfred Marshall. On behalf of Spring Lake Police Department and Special Olympics of North Carolina, and the Special Olympics Coordinator for Special Olympics of Spring Lake Police Department, we'd like to present the North Carolina Law Enforcement Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to these individuals to your front in recognition of your support for nearly 40,000 children and adults with intellectual disabilities through the efforts of the 2018 North Carolina Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. This is signed by Claudia Morgan and Keith Jones, North Carolina Law Enforcement Torch Run Coordinator, and Mr. Kenneth L. Fishburne, President and CEO of Special Olympics of North Carolina. Oh, these individuals ran or either walked during the event.
I ran.
I walked this
See?
Just to help them.
You have tickets for next year's event. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sergeant McCormick. I'm going to ask if any of the aldermen or alderwomen have any remarks following this outstanding presentation.
Yes. I told a little lie. I ran a lot of it and I walked a lot of it. But I did the whole 2.7 well. And I won't do it again.
And I walked, but I walked in a small circle. Okay. We're now ready for the quarterly financial update. Mr. Watson, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Alderman. My voice is leaving me, so I'm gonna talk as fast as possible. I have, in front of you, you've got the same thing you received by email, but it's a lot easier to see the hard copy than it is the electronic copy. First item is the financial comparison analysis that we always look at quarterly. Over in the left portion of the worksheet is the 16-17 budget, expense encumbrances, so forth. Right in the middle is the most recent year, 17-18, and to the right of that is the actual revenue in a bluish column for 16-17 and the budget revenue for 17-18, just as a reminder. So if you take a look at the general fund for, start with 17-18, the expenses and encumbrances were $7,686,324.39 compared to $7,957,968.88 for the prior year. So obviously we spent less money than we did the prior year, but as a reminder, Hurricane Matthew drove some of those expenses in the prior year. So that's why it may seem like we spent more money, and we still did, but there was a lot of that due to Hurricane Matthew expenses we spent. That's also for the benefit of the two new board members, as a reminder. Also, if you take a look at the revenues for 16-17 compared to 17-18, you'll see that for the actual revenues for 17-18, it's $8,077,890.32 compared to $8,293,391.13. Again, you're probably wondering, well, all the revenues went down. Again, that was due to Hurricane Matthew dollars that we received for the general fund, close to $100,000 that we got a check. In addition, payment reimbursement, which way you look at it, you should account for it. Also, that was at the beginning of July 16 is when we originally financed some police vehicles, and that shows as installment proceeds, which is a revenue, and as well as also the difference in the two fiscal years for property tax budget information, where everybody probably knows that when the revaluation took place, our overall valuation went down slightly. So if you take all that into consideration, basically, we're a little bit better off than we were being to take all that out of 16, 17 years, comparing apples and apples. There's one. But if we would be somewhere around 8,059,000 taking it out, compared to the 8,293,000. So I'm just kind of again comparing apples and apples for you. So you can take a look at it. Also, I'm going on memory on this one, the current property tax collection rate, just for the current year, most recent, that the county did for us was 99.05%. That's excellent. If you go back and look at history, 6 or 7, 8 years ago, it was nowhere close to that to come together. Any questions on the general fund? Okay, on the water and sewer fund, and again, the joint water and sewer fund, as a reminder, is we receive money each and every month, so many right pays. And so that's more of a steady revenue collection that we get monthly for the coming year. Expenditure side, 2016-17, $3,659,106.16, and compared to 17-18, $3,421,142.05. Again, a lot of that has to do with Hurricane Matthew dollars that we spend out, and I'll get to that when we receive in a few moments. Also on the revenue side, if you take a look at, it appears that the revenues were down this year compared to last year, where 16-17 it was $3,819,529.05 compared to this year, $3,704,985.25. Well, we received a check for Hurricane Matthew a little over $146,000 in the water sewer fund for 16-17. So if you extrapolate that out, we are still ahead of the game for that purpose. So any questions?
That's all we got. Hurricane Matthew, we don't have anything else.
What do you mean?
Anything that else is due from Hurricane Matthew?
On Hurricane Matthew, Tom, it's an item that the federal government has told Tom that we possibly, the water line that runs right over here, and I can't remember the exact dollar amount. Right now, I don't think they'll be able to actually replace it. So we may have to send that money back, that portion of it back.
Oh, okay.
But technically, that rolls into fund balance.
Okay.
Anyway, and I think what Tom's trying to do is get them to say, look, we can't replace it, or environmental, we can't do it, can we do it for X now?
Oh,
Another. Something else, but he can speak more to that than I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions on water and sewer?
Yes, Alderman.
I actually, wanted to ask, and go back really quick, why is there so much left over in capital outlay and in general fund? Were there some things we didn't actually do?
Okay, you mean the capital outlay?
Right, it says we only spent 51.78%.
Right. That is at the end of the year when we did the budget amendment for the splash pad. And so the splash pad, only 25% of that's been spent. So that will roll over when they're going to start that construction back early next spring, so it'll open up about time it's time for season. So that's why that number looks a little off. Any more questions on that particular fund? Okay, on the next fund, stormwater, again, this is a smaller fund. For 16-17, it was $262,731.07 actual expenditures compared to 17-18, $275,496.91. So basically, it was approximately the same. And then on the revenue side, it was $319,149.80 for revenues compared to $299,118.33 for revenues for 17-18. Stormwater again is a fund. Many years ago, that was part of the general fund, and In government, they separate now that you have what they call an ERU, and management more about that than I do, where you charge based on like linear feet or whatever, based on storm water frontage in your home commercial business. And that's normally on the tax bill, the kind of part of the tax bill. On the next item, sanitation, take a look at 16-17 expenditures at $605,468.74 compared to $664,605.94. Basically, the difference there is this was the first year we started paying back when they financed the truck for the sanitation department. It was a 5-year financing. This is the first year of payback for that. So that debt service caused that to go up. The overall total of the fund. Take a look at the revenues. Actual revenues for last year was 16-17 was $915,403.92 compared to $668,338.13. The reason that seems to be higher is because when you finance a vehicle and it's in your budget is a revenue when the dollars come in from the bank. So that if you extrapolate that out, that will be about the same thing. So basically that fund is holding its own in very, very good shape at the present time. And then the last one is the fleet fund, and in this case, this is the fund where the other departments feed that department to take care of the fleet of all of the vehicles of the town police. There's some exceptions of the fire company trucks, but everything else is covered, as well as all the other administrative vehicles. For 16-17, amount spent was $211,326.34 compared to 17-18, $220,526.89. So basically, it was about the same. And on the revenues, again, we don't share the revenues because the general fund and all the other funds feed that fund. So it's really their intra-fund revenues. That's what they are, not external revenues. So overall, if you take a look at the bottom line, from percentage of spent for 17-18, we were 91.49% spent for budget for all the funds, compared to the prior year, 94.85%. So our expenditure percentage went down. Excuse me. And on our revenues, if you compare our budget to 17-18 budget to the actual revenues received, we're $12,750,332.03. Compare that to the budget dollars after all amendments and everything, we were 96.80%. So basically, you got a spread of about a little over 5% spread for action. So that's very good that you came positive. That's how I look at it. And again, that included the decrease in the property valuation that we had to deal with for that budget as well. So any questions on the financial analysis report?
Mayor Pro Tem McGarry.
I don't know if you have this information at the time, but I was wondering how many more payments or how many payments do we have on that big truck? And how long, basically how long?
Okay, we made 17-18 was the first year, then you have 4 more payments, so it's already in this year's budget. 4 more, that includes this year.
And how much was it payment?
Okay, when you take a look at the principal and interest, it's around $50,000. That's principal and interest total.
That's what it is.
Now, that approximately $50,000 total would include principal and interest. Similar to a house payment that you pay off, more is principal than interest. If you have a problem understanding that my voice is not that strong tonight, so I apologize again. On the investment report, this is the one that's just like the one has been forward. This is a breakdown of what we had as of the end of the year, or before the end of the year for 17 and a year ending 18. And if you take a look at the three accounts that we have, the Sister Depository, BB&T, and the two capital management trust accounts, the total at the end of June of 17 was $5,642,868.81. Compared to the end of 18 was $4,643,415.70. But the first flag you would have probably asked is, why did it drop close to $1 million? Well, I can explain that to you. Remember last year, about 13 months ago, the town decided to pay off 9 transactions for debt. So that affects the cash. Those total was close to $804,000. That total, that was the BB&T, Department of Environmental Quality, is what that paid off. Excuse me. The other two items were when we closed on the land from the original thought where the splash pad was going to be, we paid $113,000 as part of the closing to buy those two pieces of property. So that was something that was an anomaly, which was obviously a good purchase. It was land. Land doesn't go away. The next thing is where the 25% payment to Carolina Recreation right at the end of the fiscal year, that was $118,570. If you add all those numbers up, it's just about $1,034,000. So that's the difference, the majority difference right there, what a little bit more than that, matter of fact. So that's the difference of why it's off and why it's dropped. Now, if you were doing this one for operations, I wouldn't be happy. But this is for capital, paying off debt early, to get you paid no interest, as well as you bought a piece of property, then you could do anything you'd like to with it, obviously over. And then on the Carolina Recreation, that's the first step to get the splash pad completed, so which is a capital outlay. So any financial you look at, you're using that kind of money operations, it's going to not have much cash left. But in this case, that's not what you're doing. Continue on. If you notice the yields that we have on the BB&T account, it's 0.85%, and I'll come back to that in a moment. And the two capital management trust accounts, the governmental portfolio is 1.71%, and the term portfolio is 2.08%. Now, the two newest board members were not on board at the time, but about a year and a half ago, I did a presentation as part of this showing a dot matrix graph. And the mayor may remember this, where it showed projections out for about 5 or 6 years, and it was showing it's going to be going up. And so if you'd like me to rehash that sometime, update it, I can get that from the Capital Management Trust, and they have somebody on their staff and show you what they think is going to happen. So the investment rates have gone up, but if you do borrow money, that's also gone up as well, due to the interest rate from the Federal Reserve, as well as all banks' interest rates now are down. So they can't write off as much on taxes that debt as they could at one time. So you've got good on one side, not quite as good on the other, but that's just the way it is at the present time. And then also, if you take a look, since the yields are up, our monthly earnings and year-to-date earnings are up based on the money we have in the bank because the rates have gone on. These rates are probably 3 times as high as they were 2 years ago. Because at one time, they were basically zero about 7 or 8 years ago in many places. So any questions on the investment report? And then the last item, and this seems to be a little bit shorter, and it was one out because it is shorter. We now have the BB&T Business Services cards for the town. The P cards are not an operating like it any longer. We don't use that term. So we now have department cards, and they will start getting issued really around first part of April. So that's why you don't see anything listed for March at all. There was no use in March for the departmental cards. For the next cycle, and they don't do it in exact months, that's why you see those dates the way they're shown. is we had in that period, April through May 2nd, 7 transactions totaling a little over $583. For the next area, May 3rd through June 2nd, it was 48 transactions and $7,775.77, totaling for the 3-month period, 55 transactions at $8,359.15. Now, if you look behind, and you do not see that when Ronald doesn't send this out, there's 2 pages attached on the hard copy. This is the actual, what each by department, if they had 1 charge, 10, 7 charges, whatever, it gives you details similar to what we did prior, as close as the mirror that I can get that. And this case, again, it's not in by names, it's in department name. So the one for the April through May 2nd period is attached next, and it shows you, purpose. I added that like we did before. Purpose of the use of the card, date of the transaction, the person to the account, and what department that it is to. And then the first column is the actual account number for that card. And we can give you more detail. We have that in the accounts payable office that backs all this up. And then for the next one, the next page, that's for the May 3rd through the June 1st date. And that's a little bit longer, obviously. And you'll see the use of the card, how many times, and what the purpose of that is. I know you want to be going with me going over each and every line tonight. So if you look at something, you have a question, feel free to call me, and we can give you more details on it. And as a reminder, when the department needs to use a card, they come to request from the department head. As the manager signs that request checkout sheet as well as myself. And then they get the card from the accounts payable, business card administrator. And then when they complete with us, they return that back in.
How do you find that? Is that working a lot better than the old P cards? A lot more accurate? A lot more?
I would say it's a lot easier because it's not as many to deal with. Before, we had, so I'd say roughly 100.
Yeah.
So that's a lot less to deal with. So you look at it more by department and more of a, I guess you look at a silo. Well, you track it. So if you've got, and I'll pick on Troy's area, since he's his largest department. Well, if every officer has a card, and they're trying to find something, that means Ms. Hudson has to go track it down.
Yeah.
Now you can tie it down if they only have so many cards, only a certain person used that card. And one thing we also did is we have some overflow cards, like the finance. We really don't, the finance card, we probably hardly ever use one. Occasionally we will go to a conference or something, but that's the overflow where the police department or fire department need to do, so when they use their allotment for the cards, they can check out a finance card as the overflow. That's what that's used for.
Or like incidental expenses.
Well, let's take for instance, you've got 3 or 4 firefighters going to different places. You have to be the same week, and they need a card, but we only wanted to be sure they had 3 or 2, whatever. That's what that finance overflow card is for.
Okay.
Or if all the board members decide to go to some meeting, but not the same place, you may need a card. So that's why we did it that way, so we would have enough to run, but not have too many for each department.
Well, it's good to know that the changes we put in place a couple of years ago are really taking effect. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, any other questions on this part? And then the last section, the bottom half, is just a recap of what was done the same time period last year. So what you would be interested in seeing is the very bottom line, which is grand total, at the very bottom, compare that to the grand total, what I just completed. And basically, last year, same period, we had 219 charges for a little over $30,000, where this year, 55 charges and about $8,359. And as use of the card, no matter if it was a prior type card or what we sometimes runs in cycles based on when annual meetings are, or meetings that people go out of town certain times of the year, whatever. So, but this is a good way of looking at it. So I've got a feeling it may be between $5,000 to $6,000, $7,000 a month is average over time when everything gets into flux. It's hard to say sometimes, but I think it's possible.
I like the new controls.
Thanks, sir.
Alderman Cooper.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Do we have purchase orders still? Do we use purchase orders for like really big?
Anything over
purchases?
$1,000, you have to have a purchase order for.
Okay, and so where would that be? Within the budget, or where would those purchases show up?
Purchase orders, if you can use if a purchase order is used and it's over $1,000, somebody uses a card, you still have a purchase order even though the card may be. So that doesn't skirt using a card. You just, if the transaction is expected to be over 1,000, and then what you would do, it'd be payable to BB&T, not the vendor. That's how that works, but you still have a PO that would back it up.
And everything on here has a receipt attached, correct?
Pardon?
Everything on here has a receipt attached? All expenditures?
Yes, ma'am. And we review those once and every month, and each and every board member is always invited if they'd like to come.
Thank you.
Let's re-emphasize that any board member should, well, actually, we encourage, as long as we don't have more than a quorum, can go in and review the process.
Right. If y'all show up at the same time, we would have to stay out of the room and rotate in and out.
But the process works. We have good process. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you for dealing with my voice tonight. I apologize.
Okay, new business, 9A, deferral of case P 18-22 zoning request by Mr. Tony.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, board members.
Hello, sir.
Before you is a request to defer this rezoning case till the next meeting. The procedural requirement requires that we publish a legal advertisement in the newspaper. And when the county attempted to send that to us, we were in the midst of some personnel shuffling, and we had some issues with our servers, and it just fell through the cracks. So we're requesting that you defer to the next meeting, and there will be no additional notifications required if you so say.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem O'Gara.
I'd like to make a motion to defer this to that next meeting. Case B.
Am I correct in the meeting, next meeting or the 23rd?
Next meeting.
Okay.
Alderman Christian.
Second motion.
It has been moved and seconded that we defer case P 18-22 until August 13th. You heard the motion, you ready for the question? Question. All in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
One opposed, sign of nay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. The next item is policy number 38, compensation plan for compression, Mr. Gerald.
Yes, thank you, Board of Aldermen and women. Tonight, I have before you to seek an approval for a compression policy to provide guidance to staff, myself in particular, to help correct salary compression. It is well known that the town employee salaries have not been keeping up with the salaries around the area. That has led to Spring Lake being known as a training ground. It's unique. Spring Lake is unique. It's a small town, but it has big city problems. It's very unique. Most towns this size don't have an army base next to it, a large city beside it, and a growing county on top of it. That's a very unique animal. So what we're looking to do is to provide funding sources for the compression of salaries. We should call it decompression of salaries. So if you look forward, when an employee reaches the 10-year mark, and we have a lot of employees past the 10-year mark or so, we want to push their salaries to the midpoint. We were looking at stopping it there, but there was an issue with new employees coming on board who would make more than employees who were already here for 3 years. So we're backing it up down to the 3-year mark to start decompression there as well. So we're gonna decompress the salaries at 3 years or more, and employees over the 10-year mark, we want to move them to the mid-range. The fund.
I would like a copy. I think everybody would have.
So, what we're wanting to do is to provide guidance and acceptance in this policy. We're looking to start to fund this program in March. We have put $120,000 in the budget to fund this program.
Give it a second there.
Okay. Are you gonna use the 2.5?
Well, we don't. Well, if you go down to 3 years, 2.5 is going to be a bit high. So we're thinking somewhere between 2 and 1.5. But we want to use the 10-year mark as the mid range, because you have a lot of employees who have been here 10 or plus years who are nowhere near the midpoint. So when you hiring people like, everybody knows my thing is water. When you hire people in the wastewater plant, they're going to be higher than Richard or higher than Henry or someone like that, and they've been here a while. So what that does is that decompresses those individuals, but it also allows us to hire people at a higher rate, so we do not become stagnant in our salaries, and we become competitive in our salaries.
Does that affect my salary?
Yes. Yes, it will. It will. We want to get everybody in, because everybody's put in hard work here. This is Spring Lake is labor of love for everyone in this room. So we think everybody should be duly compensated for it. So that's why we were looking at the starting this compensation process in March 1st. Of next year.
Jackson and Cooper. Okay.
Should we make a motion first? Questions? Procedural wise, we should make a motion to approve or deny and then take the questions.
Oh. Yes.
Okay, the motion, Mr. Christian.
May I move that we approve the motion, approve the policy as written?
Mayor Pro Tem, okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the compensation plan policy number 38. You heard the motion, is ready for the question. All in favor, sign right.
That's when people are supposed to chime in.
Yes, that's right. And I gave them time to chime in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not. I'm for it. I just had another question, but,
I just wanted to do proper procedure.
Correct, sir. Okay, the motion is carried.
She could ask a question.
Okay.
It wouldn't affect the vote, but she could ask a question.
I just wanted to know why is it that we're waiting until March to implement it?
We just want to look at how the income is coming in. We did budget the 120. We can do it now, but you're looking at, we have a large amount of employees who have been here 3 years and also at the 10-year mark. So that may be an issue in stretching those funds. So if you do it in March, you'll be able to provide those funds.
Okay. Before the last word by Alderwoman Cooper, in the next couple of days, Ms. Webb will be calling you all to determine what is the best time to have another call meeting to finish the business that we need to finish on Friday, the week before that. That is the final decision on the town attorney. We can't do it unless she canvases everybody to get the time that's most convenient. No problem.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I want to remind everybody, there are some community advisory boards that we need citizens to sign up for here in town. There are also some in the county and the city of Fayetteville that might interest some of you. So please check the website and continue to, promote Spring Lake, because we want people to come to Spring Lake and we want them to stay here. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you all. Is there a motion for the final action? Alderwoman, Cooper,
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Alderwoman Jackson.
I second that motion.
It has been moved and seconded, we adjourn. Are you ready for the question?
Question.